If you decide you're going to run J-pipes or straight headers like I'm going to do, because I'm going to use a diesel heater, although this won't go out in the winter, this is left wide open. So what you can do is you can go to Gene Berg, or there's quite a few places online, and buy industrial tins. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you all for being part of it. I truly appreciate it. Please click the notification bell so it pops up every time I post a video, and don't forget to hit like. Okay, today we are doing the complete cooling tin installation video, okay? It took me a while to prep them and get other things done, and I got a really good video coming up. Well, I'm going to be posting now, I believe, on Tuesdays and Fridays. Today is Tuesday, so there will be another video out Friday, and with the shorts in between. So let's get on it. Now, this is unlike me, but here is my flaps, my thermostat bracket, etc. is not going in. The heads that were put on us, there's big valve heads. The passage to go through for the rod from the fan shroud, it's very narrow, and I don't want to mess with these heads. So this car is not going to be driven in the winter. Do I like thermostats? Yeah, I believe they help it warm up a lot better. But for as much as I'm going to use this, it's fine. But no thermostat going in this one. It's my first one. Believe that? Now, before I get started here, I never thought to film before when folks send me stuff. Every once in a while I remember. But today I remembered easily because while I was getting ready to set up my camera, the mail girl, I call her my mail girl, she stopped at the garage before going to the mailbox and said, "Do you want your package?" Which was really nice. April and Kevin Elliott from Calvin, Kentucky. I think I'm going to end up meeting them at the Slades picnic. I believe they're coming. They sent me a package, so we're going to open it together here and check it out. I had to clean my hands, although they're not clean, but they're pretty clean. I'm afraid to use scissors because I don't know what they sent me, and it's looking like a gold bar. I'm just kidding. Let me see here. Make sure I don't forget nothing. Let me bring the camera over. I hope it's nothing crazy because I'm showing it on film. And let's take a sneaky peek. Oh my goodness, mouse pad. Oh, thank you so much. Oh yeah, that was very, very nice. Oh, I see a plate. Let me see. Oh wow, I'm speechless. You guys rock. Well, guy and gal. Oh man. Well, one for Heather's truck and one for the Beetle. I am so, oh my goodness. And another mouse pad, which means Heather has one too now. I am like freaked out. Here, let me spread this stuff out here. That was such a kind gesture. It honestly was. This is so cool. So cool. I can't, I'm blown away. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it. April and Kevin, thank you so much. I'm not good with receiving gifts. I really, really appreciate that. I had no idea. I really didn't. If you actually do license plates, which I have a funny feeling you do, let me know, and maybe I can put that out there for you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait till August to meet you. I really mean that. Thank you both. I was trying to think of a way to film this without getting in front of you, so I'm going to set off to the side. First, we're going to pop our 30mm bolt off of the crankshaft pulley. This one comes out tight the whole way. I don't know why it's doing that for, but I don't remember that happening on my other ones. So I'm going to clean the threads up a little bit on it. We're going to start with the front tin, and if you followed my video on the crankshaft pulley removal, this one slid off easy. If not, they have a puller, and the video's right there if you need it, if you have a stubborn one, you know. We do have our fittings here for the full flow. So I had to modify, where are you? The front pulley tin, I had to hammer this out a little bit. It needed an indentation put in it to fit. So we're going to go ahead and do the front cover first. So this is going to go right on here. Why aren't you fitting right? There we go. Because you have your 2 screws right here. Now, what I'm going to have to do, and I won't get into a big thing because probably 90% of you aren't full flowed for an oil filter, is I'm going to have to manipulate this a little bit for the hose to go on here, which is not a problem. So let's get our screws. This is the first piece. One thing I did do is I bought stainless steel screws. You can get them online. You can get them on Amazon or pretty much anywhere. VW store, J-Bugs, all of them. The stainless steel screws will work much, much better. So I did get those. So let's put these 2 screws on first to get this started. I may have to manipulate that though on the left side near the fitting, which is fine. It's worth having a full float. I'm thinking about just talking while I'm starting these. This one isn't lining up because this wasn't an original German tin. Thinking about doing an oil cooler is what I'm really considering instead of just a filter. So let me see if this will go in now. There we go. Trying to stay out of your way. It's not easy. This one. Oh, I thought I pinched the wire to the distributor. Don't want to do that. There we go. All right. Next, we are going to grab number 1 and 2 on here. You will see number 1 and number 2 stamped on it as your spark plugs. So that will go on the passenger side with the motor installed. Now make sure you do what I did here. I put a rag in these holes so that we don't end up with nuts and bolts flying inside of it. Now I need to set this on first. So let's get this in there. And your screw holes lined up. So let's take our happy little rag, if rags can be happy, and just put it in there. You just don't want nothing going down in a motor. You do not want that. Get that started. And the nice new heads. What I probably should have did is went and got the bolts instead of the screws. But it's okay, they're stainless. When I did the VW Thing rebuilt motor for my buddy, he bought them. And when I was working with those and seeing them, I said, "Where did you get them?" I forget where he got them. I can't remember. But I ended up, I think I got them from J-Bugs. I can't remember now because it was a while ago that I ordered them. There we go. Next will be number 3 and 4. I don't want this stuff falling. If you're new to this, 3 and 4 will go on the driver's side if the motor's in the car. So let's unplug our holes a second there. This one's a little more trickier with the oil pump. Come on. It's hitting a stud. These are original German. I don't know why they're fighting with me, but these are aftermarket heads. So that could be the issue too. Let me take this gasket off here so don't bend it all up. Okay, put our rags back in our holes here. I had to beat them around a little bit for that to go on right. They're aftermarket heads, so I think the castings on everything is a little different. That's how that works in the world of hot rodding, or anything now. Okay, oops. Make sure if you're going to use, give me 1 second. Can't chew gum and walk at the same time. Let me tell you something. Just a quick side note. I know I add stuff in all the time, but if you're going to use the factory ones, okay, the steel ones, wire wheel the threads really good, wire wheel the head. And if they're poopy, you know, don't reuse them if the slots are all chewed up. Just put a little dot of anti-seize on them when you put them in. You don't have to do that with the stainless steel. They're coated, but I just wanted to say that. Shut up. All right, next I'm going to put the fan shroud on. Now, if I was using the thermostat and flaps, there would be a rod hanging down that would go down through the heads to put the thermostat on. So let me bring you in close. Now you gotta, here, let me get something here. Oh, there we go. And there we go. All right. Now, when you're putting them on, see what's happening there? And back here, because it got to slide down inside and then it'll bolt on. I bought one of these a while ago. I think I got it on Amazon. It's a plastic trim tool remover. Ooh, I almost dropped it. And it has a bunch of different, you know, ones in there. You could see I use that one mostly. I'm trying not to scratch the paint up, so I'll use the plastic so that goes down inside. And on the back here, I'm not going to move you around there for one little thing. It's a tight fit. Okay, let's go to the other side. Sometimes it's a fight to the finish with these. There we go. I don't like how these... I imagine I was probably in your way, but back here it didn't want to seat properly, so I had to bend this out slightly and push it down in, because you want them holes to line up, which I'm going to have to bend that metal slightly for that bolt to go in, and of course in the front. I think the heads being a little different slightly is causing some tin issues. Well, that was kind of a crap deal. Let's see if the threads will reach there. They should. Remember to keep your holes plugged in the intakes. Straighten it with the screwdriver. Here we go. Okay, other side. Let's see if this will go in without me trying to sneak past the metal. So I didn't want to have to take them back apart and file them. Once I get it started, I can straighten like that. Yep, that worked. Okay. There. Now, if you are running a thermostat with your flaps and everything, now's the time to do the thermostat. And I have another video on that. I'll put a link in the description. I have quite a few. Because your rod would be coming down here, and that's where you would put the thermostat on. So I'll show you real quick what I mean. Now, this is on the passenger side of the motor. If you were going to run a thermostat, okay, there will be a rod coming down. You will thread this on to the rod, okay? Then once that's done, you would put this on. Okay, this would be held on to the rod. All right. And then you'll put your nut here, okay? And then your bolt here, and then you're going to have to adjust it, you know, to where it opens and closes properly. But I do have a video on that. You'll see down in the description if you want to see about installing a thermostat. Now, I call these sleds. You call them what you want. Now you're thinking, well, I got a big one and I got a little one. You're going to take the longer one, and that will go onto the driver's side of the motor if the motor's in the car. So what you're going to do is take your smaller one, and that's going to end up going on this side. So I'm going to move the camera around so I can get a better angle for you, and we'll install that next. So you're going to take the short tin, I call it the little sled, and it's going to go here, and I see I'm going to have to manipulate that. Let me bring you up here where you can see the screws. So remember, this is the passenger side. I think these heads are a little weird because look there. I'm going to bend it under that once I get them screwed into place. Yeah, it started. There's some paint in these threads too from the tins being painted. Come on, get started any day. Let me get this pulled up in. Whoops. I was trying to do it quick. And when you try to do things fast, you know what happens. I'll have to manipulate that under there, which is not a problem. That's the heads. That was my fault. Told you, I don't like editing things out, because if you run into problems, you're going to think, why did it go smooth for him? He has no troubles doing stuff, which is untrue. So that's why I don't keep a lot of this stuff out. I leave it in the video. Some awkward camera shooting here. I'm going to loosen this one slightly a minute until I get the screw in the bottom. This hole doesn't look like it's lining up very well either. What a pain in the butt. Give me 1 second. I have to use some leverage, so it's hard to get around the camera. Should have cleaned them thread holes out. Okay, now I can tighten these top too. All right, now we got to tighten these up. Now what I'm going to have to do, and I'll do it later, is you can see the casting on this head must sit down further. So I'll go ahead and take a Dremel, cut this tin a little bit, not the head, and then I'll manipulate it in. Now remember, this would be the side where the thermostat is. There's the little stud that holds the thermostat bracket in place. So you are going to then take this short flat piece. I'm going to bring you in close right now. Now on this flat piece here, you have a little bevel, a little indentation here. Now, here is the threaded nuts that are welded into the plate. They're going to go up inside of here where you can screw this to it and then it secures here. Don't forget that little bevel, and that's where your thermostat is, right inside of there. So, get a screw here. And while I'm doing this, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps these videos stay alive, so I keep actually doing them. It helps with the algorithm on the video. If not, it doesn't get out there much, and then eventually I'll go, well, nobody's watching them. So, okay, that one started. I should have put the screws in these since I painted them, and I didn't. So, let's make it a little tougher, and it's my fault. So you can pull, see how these are slotted? So your hole right here. And I'm going to show you something important here if you're not going to run heater boxes. In 1 second, I'm in your way. Just let me get this started. The stainless steel screws did not want to thread into the block, so be careful with that. That's probably why it was tough on the other side. So I got a factory steel one that I had cleaned up real quick, and we're going to put that in there. Why that did that? That's really, really weird. Of course, I've seen weirder things in life, so. Now, don't go crazy on that. That's magnesium, or you'll have aluminum possibly. You don't want to break that tab off. That explains why that one was tough going in. I was wondering about that, and I'm going to show you something here now. Of course, because I'm always passing information along to bore everybody. Now, something you need to know. Yes, you need to know this. Your heater boxes will go here, okay, if you choose to run heater boxes. Your heater boxes being mounted here will close this off so that your airflow goes down and through. I call it out the chute. So your air will pass through here from the doghouse, your fan shroud, and blow out here. If you decide you're going to run J-pipes or straight headers like I'm going to do, because I'm going to use a diesel heater, although this won't go out in the winter, this is left wide open. So what you can do is you can go to Gene Berg, or there's quite a few places online, and buy industrial tins, okay? And your pipe will come down, where you at back there? Your pipe will come down through here, but the industrial tins will bolt on here and close that off so that you don't lose any cooling coming through of the fan and leaving this wide open. You need it to function like it did from the factory. So again, with headers on here or J-pipes, you're going to buy industrial tins and put them on, and it'll close it off just like the heater box would. You might be able to fabricate something yourself, but I know prices are up right now and everything, so it's a little difficult, but I did want to tell you that. All right, let's turn the engine around. I don't know why. Sometimes feel like I have a southern drawl. Trying to get you in camera view. Okay, now you have your other sled. I don't know why I call them that. They kind of remind you of a toboggan when you were little, but some of you aren't old like me, so. We're going to tilt her up, and we're going to put it on this side. Randy was nice enough to plug the holes with tape, which was convenient, so nothing goes inside. Let's get this put on next. You're at the back of the motor. Your tin. Wait, I have you too far away, don't I? Okay, that is going to go right like this. Make sure this goes behind, just like that. Let me get this screw started. I'll be in front of you for a second. Dang, I forgot to start the screws in the sheet metal again to clean the threads out. They keep saying that, but I'm not practicing what I preach, huh? These tins are really wonky. I don't know if wonky is even a word. See if that helped. Helped a little. Well, can't see the camera view, so hopefully I'm not in front of you. Try the best I can. Let me snug this up before I tighten the other. Whoop. Okay, I snug and I back off just a turn until everything's in place. So one thing I did do, I unwound these a little bit so that this hole can line up. I'll tighten it, bend this, tighten that, then I'll tighten them up. Hope that made sense. So let's get this in here, get it started. These are a pain sometimes because they hit the flashing around the exhaust port, which makes it a little tight. Now you're not going to tighten this completely. Give it a couple turns so it's still movable. And then we're going to bend this up and see what happened there. That's why it was like that before, because it breaks very easily there. Let me get pliers. I'm not worried because there's no stress on it. And I fixed one of them once by tack welding it, and it broke again anyhow. So let me tighten this one down before I bend. I was going to tack weld that, I should have, but it wouldn't have mattered because I guarantee it would have came loose. Take our one, put it here. I love when I film because that's when everything goes wrong. If I'm in a garage with the radio playing, no camera, everything's as, well, like paradise. But that's normal. It's just like if you practice a magic trick forever and you get the whole family together and something stupid happens when you do it. I don't know where that came from. Ignore that. There we go. Remember, heater box goes here or your industrial tin. That'll close it off. Make sure to tighten these back up. You can see that pulling together. Should have had a bigger screwdriver. And a little squeak here. Now, we still have to do the back of it, or some people call it the front. We have our two little pieces for each side of the front here. Want to see something funny? So, I painted this sides of them, and I thought, well, nobody's going to see the backs. I really didn't care. Well, I guess I care now, don't I? It's okay. I'll finish the video by assembling the cooling tins as promised, then I'll pull these back off and paint them. It ain't a big deal. These castings on the head are different. I don't mean to complain, and I'm actually not complaining, but these are original German tins. So when I take this back off to paint it, I'm going to mess with these with the Dremel so that they fit better because it's not allowing this down all the way. So let's get this on. I knew I was going to drop that one. Come on. Get started. You'll see I'm going to have to bend that down. Okay, only halfway. It's hitting here. Give me 1 second. It's hard not to get in front of the camera sometimes. Remember, this is an MGM. I think I got it now. I think a lot of the aftermarket heads and different things are just the castings off a little bit on them, as you'll see in a second. So it's going to require me to trim the tin, not the head. Don't want to do that. See how that is right there. And I don't think that... Tried to bend it down a little, no good. I'll go ahead and manipulate this here a little bit. Using that word a lot today, huh? This should be down further, and it's not. And I literally have done everything I can to get it down further, unless I'm doing something stupid, which it can happen. But it's hitting right here, which is not allowing it to drop down for this. And I don't know why that is happening, but I'll look into it after I'm done. Okay, our other unpainted, I can't believe I did that. Front piece, it's going to hit there too, so there's always some crap to redo. The lovely world of parts. Okay, always leave them a little loose so I can manipulate it around. I don't understand. These are German tins. Doesn't make sense to me why they're not fitting around this aftermarket head. 1 second here. I'll be out of your way. See that? It doesn't make sense to me. This is flush here. I'm not getting why all of a sudden these are not fitting right. I'm showing you at least the assembly and what parts go where, but that's way off. I don't get it. I legitimately do not get it. And this is flush here, so it doesn't really make sense. And that's original German. That's not aftermarket. Oh well, I'll get it figured out. I always do. All right, let's turn the motor around. And let's close off the oil cooler. So we have our pieces here that are going to go on here. Now, here's something I don't have right now. There's some rubber seals that you want to put around these, okay? I did order them. They didn't come in yet. So we're still going to assemble this, and I'll explain it. I'll bring you in close. So now we have the piece in the back here, and that's there's going to be another video on this next week, how this piece could cause an engine fire. I never knew about it before, but we'll go over that in another video. Okay, I got to put this on. Now, my engine yoke, the stand, is in the way, so I'm going to kind of manipulate it a little bit just so you see how it goes together. This one's going to be a little difficult because it is definitely being held back by the yoke. But let me get a screw. I still want to assemble it so you know what's up here. I'm going to have to just bend it slightly for it to work with the stand hitting it, because I don't have extra manpower to get it off the stand right this moment. And I'm not lifting it with a bulging disc in my back. Yay. Okay. Before I put this here and screw it into place, I'm going to slip this in here like that. And now we'll screw it into place. Let me move the camera. What I have going on here is, see how that's hitting? Okay. It won't let the rear tin shift over enough to line up the screw. Now I'm going to finish the assembly for the video, but I'm probably going to have to grind that yoke a little bit. I don't remember it being that way, but it must have been that the tin would shift over and screw down properly. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. All kind of stuff going wrong, but see, that's good though. Like I said, if stuff don't go wrong for me on film, you know I'm editing, and I won't do that. Don't believe in it. We would have our sill around there, and I like putting one around here, but it didn't come in yet, so it's okay. I got to pull it back apart anyhow to make some adjustments to the metal. I'll bring you up close and show you something in a second here. Of course, I always do. Okay, now as you can see in the photo I'm showing you here, that's why you need your seals to keep the air going down and out the bottom, okay? Now, today is Tuesday. Friday's video is going to be fire prevention, and I know what you're saying. Slade, you just did a fire prevention video in depth, and I did, but I read something in VW Trends magazine, the one who did an article on Heather and I, which was really cool. I so love Dan. That was awesome. He showed something that was actually in a VW memo sent out to all technicians back in probably the 60s, 70s, what have you, how this rear tin can cause an engine fire. And I'm going to do a short video on that this Friday. 2 videos a week now. Now, something you do need to know, there's an extra piece that goes on the front. But this one, somebody hacked it. So I'm going to talk to my buddy with the salvage yard and get one that fits it properly, because this one doesn't. I'm still trying to assess why the tins, some of them aren't fitting proper. I mean, I did the installation, at least you know what's going on and how everything installs. Some of these, it don't make sense to me. I'm going to end up pulling the fan shroud off and seeing if these seat down far enough. I'm wondering if something's not right because of the aftermarket heads. I just had to say that. It's driving me nuts. Okay, I kind of slid this right in because it's 10:30 at night, and I wasn't giving up until all these tins fit perfect. As you can see, a lot of them weren't right. And I decided to stay up and make them right. Come here. Yep. It is dark out. I'm tired. Now I got to repaint some of these tins, but big deal. I had to mess with that so the fan shroud sat evenly. I had to grind. I took this off, ground the lip off of it, and I used spacers. There we go. Because the fins on the jugs are sitting too high. That's why you see that gap. But now that'll work. Let's look at the back. Same way back here, but it's okay. I did some trimming. If I have to take more of this lip off, I will. But I made it to where the exhaust should seat on there very nicely. I had the clearance there. Okay, and the same over here. It's holding it up a little bit, but I had to go ahead and trim here and here so that the exhaust would go on. So I don't know if it's the heads or what, but they're German tins, and I scratched everything up trying to refabricate everything, but that's okay because I won't film it, but I'll break it all down and respray the tins. Sometimes you have to do these things. That just is how it ends up sometimes. So never back down, never give up. I'm going to pull these tins back off. I won't film that. It's stupid. And I'll respray because I don't want it all chipped up everywhere. But for some reason, just it was not cooperating. I've never ran into this on this level of aggravation, but it's okay. Oh, I'm tired. All right, so that was your cooling tin installation video. Now, what I do have to do, I was going to use a generator, but I like this stand, so I think I'll just buy an alternator. I'll order one. It'll be a couple of weeks. And I will do an alternator installation video on how to shim it and what to do properly. I ran into problems on my video a couple years ago where I had to make a homemade lathe out of a piece of sandpaper and a drill so the pulley would fit the new alternator. It ain't bad to do though if you need to. I'll see you again Friday with the important fire prevention that I didn't even know about, or I would have included it in my large video. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. I'll see you Friday.